Okay, today's session is going to be a short split session, so hopefully around 20-ish minutes. So you can have blocks to hand. Obviously, I want these classes to be as adaptable as they possibly can be on the road. So if you don't have blocks in something similar, if you want to test yourself, ankle weights are a good way to test yourself. And that's going to be all we need today. I do also have a knee pad, so if you see me popping a knee pad under, just extra cushioning for my knees. So the first thing we're going to get started is with some mobility. Get our hips and hamstrings all ready. So we're going to come onto all fours here, hands directly underneath shoulders, knees directly underneath hips, and we're just going to open up to the side, and we're going to do 8 in one direction, and then we'll go for 8 in the other. So that's 7, 8, and then coming opposite direction, bringing it in, 1, 2, good. Obviously, feel free to put your own music on, or just don't put music on, obviously for copyright, bits and pieces. Makes it difficult for uploading onto YouTube. And then we're going to come onto the side. I'm just going to switch around so you can see me. And we're going 8 in one direction. Good. So just get the hips all mobile, ready for the workout, for the stretch. 2 more this direction. Good. And then let's flip it in the other direction. You might feel your glutes start to fire up as well as they're supporting your body in this position. That's all good. What nice warm glutes. Good. And last one. Nice. We're going to come sit on our bum now. And from here, we're going to sit in a pike position. And we're going to go for lifting one leg up at a time. We're to really think about using your quad to like squeeze and strengthen. So I don't be lazy leg lifting. I'm squeezing, pointing my toe, engaging, trying to stay as upright as possible and lift. So I'd rather you be upright rather than like leaning back and coming all the way here. Upright, think L and lift. And we're going to go for 8 leg lifts on each side. So lift them. Good. So just get everything nice and ready. That's 5. If you do find yourself naturally leaning back, then you can sit up against the back of a wall to kind of prevent you from doing that. That's 8. On to the other leg. Also completely normal. As you can see, this one's going a lot higher than that one. It happens. So if you find one's a lot easier, it's fine. What I would suggest doing is if you're training like without me, without following a class, that's 8. And then we're going to go 8 together. So hands wherever feels most comfortable. So I'm going to come here, just above my knees. The further down you go, the harder it's going to get. So I'm just keeping upright here for now. Yeah, if you've got one side which is naturally a lot, needs more work, then I would suggest trying to just do a few extra reps on that side when you have time, when it's easy enough to do so, just to try to catch it up a little bit. And then we've got 2 more. And last one. Good, nice. Okay, so we're going to come into a 90-90 position here. Sorry, we're going to take one leg behind. So I'm going to have one leg back behind here. Try to get your knee in line with your hip. I'm just going to do some kicking in my belongings. From here, I'm going to lift that leg up, bring it in front. Take it back behind. Trying to get that push back as much as you can. Lift it up, take it in front. And we're going for 8 of those. So let's take that back to our starting position. Lift up, take in front. Good. That's 2. You may hear a little cat having a bit of a playtime over there. It's my little shadow. That's 4. Good. Lifting up. 5. And 6. 2 more. 7. And last one. 8. So as you start to feel we're getting really nice and warm in those hips now. And taking the opposite leg behind, so pushing it back and lifting up, bring it in front. Good. As well, when you're doing your front splits, some people need more work in their hips, some people need more work in their hamstrings. So you might not always, like, training your splits isn't linear. Like today, we're doing a lot more hamstring work. And if you find the hamstrings are naturally more flexible, you need more work in your hips, you might not get as low today in your splits as you would do if you was working more on your hips. But it all helps. 2 more. And some days you'll feel like an absolute ninja coming down into your splits, and other days it's last one. Good. Give it a little shake. Right. Let's move on to our side. So I'm going to come onto my side. Doesn't really matter what you're doing, how you want to support yourself here. My other hand is on the floor. And from here, I'm going to open up in like a clam, lift the leg up, put it behind me, take it down, and then close the clam. So we're just working through that hip, stretch, starting to work up into the hamstring and that as well, all of our side butt, all of the things. So from here, nice and chill, open up, extend, bring it behind, and bend, close, good. And let's go for number 2, bend, down, nice. And this is number 3, good work. And open it up. If your leg's not as far behind as mine, again, absolutely fine. We're all at different stages in our journey. And some days, again, it just feels easier than it does other days. So this is number 6. Open up. Number 7. And we have one more. And let's hold it here for a second. Pull it back. So I want you to re-squeeze before we'll talk about squeezing that quad. Pointing those toes. Nice long line. And pulse it back. That's it. Keep pulsing. Nice work. Good. And hold it. Squeeze. Squeeze. Squeeze a little bit more. And bring it back down. Nice. Good. Fancy swoosh to the other side. So starting to feel a little bit of more weight in your body now, your lower half anyway, even if you're not up here. Open up, extend, bring it back, and then down. Good. And that's number 2. We have been like really snowed in where I live right now. So I have fancy new backdrops come in to make myself look a lot more professional. I just didn't want to delay on getting the next video out, but the backdrop is coming. But the snow, like today when I'm recording, it is the 13th or 14th of January. Today's the first day I've had post this year. Literally, it's been insane. And then we've got one more. So open, bring it up, and let's pulse that leg. Good. Nice strong pulses. Squeezing through the quad, pointing those toes. So the minute we have a backdrop of one of my son's drawings, and then squeeze it. Squeeze. Oh, get a little bit pins and needles in my toes. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. And drop it down and give it a little shake. But soon we will have fancy backdrop. Cool. Right, there goes the cat. Next exercise, if you're feeling brave and want to add an ankle weight, then I'm going to add an ankle weight, which is brave, because I have 2 kilo ankle weights. I would recommend, if you're starting off and you've not used ankle weights before, go for 1 kilo. You might think, oh, what's the point? Trust me, there's a point. 2 kilos, it's a little bit ambitious sometimes. So from here, using your blocks or whatever you've got, which is light blocks, I'm going to set myself up. So one knee is directly underneath my hip. My other leg is in front here. So this is our, our standard hamstring stretch. What we're doing here is cat, meow, is we are going to think about it more of a strengthening drill rather than a flexibility. We'll come into a bit more of the flexibility in a bit more of stretch in a bit. So from here, you're going to take your block. Don't dump all your weight in. You don't want to be here. You want to be holding them. They're guidance, you're not putting all your weight in here. From here, I'm going to lift that leg. So you can see with ankle weights, with a little bit of extra resistance, you're just strengthening those legs a little bit more than you would be without, but still effective without the weights. So into position, and we are going to go for 8 leg lifts and then do three. We're going to do 3 sets of 8. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. And if you just need to take a little push forward as a rest in between sets, can already feel by the end of set 3, my leg is going to hate me. And then pushing back up, and let's go for the second set. So 1. Again, trying to point those toes, engage the quad in front of the leg, doing all the things. And 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then just take a little stretch off. Now, so we've got one more set on this leg. So bringing back up, nice and square, and let's go. Lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good, and coming forward. Again, if your leg's not going as high as mine, or you might not even be getting much of a lift off the ground, again, completely normal. But that activation of trying to get it to lift is still good working. Let's switch to the other side. This is my weaker side. I can feel it already. You're going to see me struggle. Right, into position, point those toes, and let's lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then coming forward. Good. So a bit of a rest for the next set. For that back hip flexor, a little bit of a stretch as well. And then come in back. And let's lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. And then forward. So that's set 2. That was set 2, wasn't it? And then last set. We got this. And 1, 2. If I just need to do a 4th set, I'm so sorry. I don't think so. 4, 5. Let's just hope it's your weaker side if I have. 6, 7, and 8. Good. And then coming forward for a bit of a rest here. Nice. If you've got ankle weights on, remove them. And we are just going to move in and out of that hamstring into lunge. So, back into this hamstring position, but now we are going to do it as a bit more of a stretch. So, from here, coming onto your first leg, I'm going to fold forward. So, if at the point you've got the blocks, here's enough, that's fine. If you can hinge further forward without the blocks, get hands to the floor, then let's go for that. What I don't want happening is the rounding and the slumping here. So we want to be thinking nice, flat back, nice and long, and hinging at this point. So we're going to hold this stretch here. Just feel it running all the way down the back of your leg. Might come all the way down to the bottom of your calf, depends on just how tight your hamstrings are really. I'm going to hold it here. And then I just want you to rock on moving your heel from side to side. So I'm trying to get like my little toe to touch the floor and then back. So it's my big toe touching the floor. You're going to feel it hitting at different, obviously we've got 3 different hamstrings running down the back of our leg. So as you rotate, you're just hitting different strings, different parts of your leg, and getting it working. Nice. And then back to center. And then from here, you're just going to move in and out of this lunge and this hamstring stretch at your own pace. So just back and forth, holding the niggles wherever you can feel those niggles. If it feels better for you to hold it for longer here, hold it for longer there. If it feels better in your lunge, then hold the lunge. Good. Just back and forward. Nice. I really start to feel myself a lot more open. Done a lot of sitting the last few days, doing desk work. And then the next time you're in your lunge, I want you to meet me there. And then from here, I want you to think about getting your back leg to turn under. So I'm almost trying to get that hip underneath my front leg. And then I'm coming back to center and then twisting it under. Yeah. So you're rotating. So it's almost like your outer hip, outer part of your leg is trying to come down to the floor. And we're just moving back and forth in and out of that stretch at your own time. Again, if you're not as low as me, absolutely fine. You will be one day, and probably even lower if you become more dedicated. Good. Nice. Okay, let's come back and switch to the other leg. So coming back into that initial hamstring stretch here. And folding wherever feels most comfortable for you. And we're just going to hold it here for a minute. Feel that nice stretch. Good. And then just rotating on that heel, thinking about those toes touching the floor. Obviously, if they don't touch, again, it's so good. Just keep moving. Side to side. Nice work. Good job. And then taking it back to neutral. And then again, moving back and forth from that lunge to that hamstring stretch. In your own time, whichever feels best for you, holding it there. Make sure you keep nice, strong alignment and you're engaging through your muscles all the time. And when I say engaging through your muscles, because it's such a loaded word, like what does engaged mean? I mean actively squeezing the ones that you're trying to use. So I'm using a lot of muscles here. My back leg's working, my quads supporting me, my glutes are working, my hamstrings are working. So I'm really thinking about firing them up and not just being lazy, moving back and forth. Actively feel the work that you're doing. Good. And then next time you're in your low lunge, we're going to rotate that back leg so you can see from the other angle now how, move that block, how my outer hip is coming down towards the ground and then I pull back to center. And again, rotating round, my back hip, so outer hip comes to the floor and then back to center. Good. Nice. And just a few more reps of that. Again, your own pace. It doesn't matter if you're doing more or less than me. If you feel it's nice to hold that stretch, then it's your body, your practice. Good. Nice. And then coming back out of that stretch. Good. Let's just take our legs in front of us. Give ourselves a little bit of a leg wiggle here. Good. Okay. We're going to come back to our first leg now. And we're going to come into, I remember what my first leg was now. A higher lunge. I think that's my first leg. So we're setting up in our lunge. You're going to tuck your back toes. Hands are just above your knee, or they can be off or on your hips, wherever's most comfortable for you. Tucking your back toes from here. I want you to think about lifting and straightening that leg. So as I straighten, I'm going to feel my back hip flexor working. Again, squeezing through that quad. To lengthen the hamstring at the back, we need to strengthen the quad at the front. So the muscles are always working in pairs. So I'm trying to get that balance and support each other. So Into position. Blocks can be by your side for support if you need that as well. So if you need to hold the blocks whilst you do this, absolutely fine. Or hands can be here, off, hips. Feel what's best for you. I'm going to have my hands resting just above my knee. Toes are tucked under, and I'm going to lift and squeeze. Back down. Squeeze. Good. We're going for 8 of these. Holding at the top for a couple of seconds or a second. And then 4. Good. And 5. Nice. 6. 2 more. That hip flex is feeling a little bit tired now. Last one. Good. And down. Hands are coming down to the inside of the leg. I'm going to tuck my back toe, keep my back toes tucked. Lift my knee again. And from here, just want to rock forward and back. So you can see it's just me pretend I've got a piece of string here. And they're like, wee, woo. Okay, so you're just rocking on those tiptoes, keeping the same height the whole way along. So hands pressing into the floor, leg up, and forward, and back. Good. Nice. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nice. Woo. And let's switch to the other side. So blocks can be by your side. Good. Tuck the back toes under. Hands wherever you want to support yourself at. Tuck. And back down. Good. And 2. 3. 4. 5. Oh, and a little wobble then. 6. 7. And 8. Good. Hands to the inside of your foot. Keeping those back toes tucked. Lift up the knee. And let's rock forward and back for 8. Good. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Good. And let's come out of that one. Bring your heels in front of you, down on your bum. And then we just do some windshield wipers just to release any tension a little bit. Okay, next exercise, you've got a couple of options depending on what you've got equipment-wise. If you've got something you can use for a bit of height, like a footstool or a chair, a bed, a sofa, then I'm going to show you one option. So I'm going to bring my leg up to the footstool in a pigeon position. Here. Oh, I'm bringing my foot on. Here. So I'm in a pigeon position. So my knee, foot, top half of my leg, bottom half of my leg, sorry, is all in line here. Back toes going to tuck under, and from here, up and down again. Same as we kind of did in that lunge. Up and down. So that's option number 1. If you don't have height, or that's just feeling a little bit tricky because it's not obviously a beginner's move, then you can just come sit in a pigeon. So I'm going to bring one leg in front and stretch out into a pigeon here. If your glute of your front leg isn't on the ground and you feel yourself twisting out too much to try and get it down to the ground, you can use a block or a cushion, whatever you've got, to pop it under your glute here. Your foot, in an ideal world, we're aiming for that kind of straight line across. But if it's pulling towards your groin a little bit, at this stage, it's fine. We want to work towards it being nice and straight out in front of us, okay? So you've got your options. So what I want you to do is, if you're sitting in the stretch, then hold that stretch whilst we do 8 reps, then switch, and you can switch as well. So I'm going to go for 8 reps up here. So get my leg on. This is really quite a good way as well to practice your alignment with your straight leg, because my leg is literally running along the straight edge of my footstool. Taking my leg back and behind, knees bent, toes tucked, and 1. Good. 2, just feel the stretch in the glute of your front leg. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And hold it at the top. Squeeze that leg nice and straight at the back. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Release and down. And coming out of that one. Whoa, my glutes feeling all fired up. Other side. Right. Get my other leg on. Taking my leg behind. Toes tucked. And let's lift. 1, 2, 3. Really have been sitting a lot more lately because my butt's like, what are you doing? 5, 6, 7, and 8, and hold. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold it. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. Come on out. Good. Okay, we're going to come back to the mat sitting. I'm going to take one leg in front, taking the other leg on top, aiming to have knees as much as possible stacked one on top of one another. Now from here, we're just going to fold forward. So this is our final stretch in this class. And then from here, it's up to you if you want to replay this, if it's not long enough for you before you try your splits. If it is long enough, you can try your splits. I will link below in the description the video to watch if you've not done your splits before, so you know the correct format, correct style, how to do it safely. So you can quick hands look further forward. But if this is all you're doing and you're not here to necessarily gain your splits and you just want to mobilize your lower body and get flexy in your lower body, then that's fine if this is all you do. We're all at different stages, all on different things. And coming back. Switch to the side. Good. Also, again, perfectly normal if your knees aren't aligned, if they are a little bit over. Just another thing that you can take a mental check for, mental note, to know that it's something you want to work on, your hip mobility, to get that alignment. Hold it here, should feel nice stretch out hips. Good. Feels like a nice strengthy session and flexy session. And a little bit further forward if you can. And coming back up. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. So yeah, those are your options. Proceed, repeat if you want to, or maybe find another class to add on before practicing your splits. Or if that's all you're doing today, then that's absolutely fine. Well done for moving your body. If you are working on splits or anything else, then feel free to tag me. Everything will be linked below because I would love to support you and cheer you on your journey, because splits isn't easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So I'll catch you in the next video, guys.